everybody, it's me, Zach, this is Potato, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and we are back again for another week recapping TLC's critically acclaimed, soon-to-be Emmy-nominated, Tony-nominated, Oscar-nominated, reality TV award-winning 1,000 Pound Sisters starring the Amy and Tammy Slaton, and featuring all of their family members and Tammy's latest, newest husband. Yes, this week we are covering the actual wedding of Tammy and Caleb, so get excited because there are all kinds of hijinks and shenanigans. But before that, I'm going to just give some updates on a few other things related to things that Amy and Tammy have been up to outside of the show, and a little update about the 1,000 Pound Besties. So if you're not interested in all of that, I'll make sure to leave some timestamps down below so you can skip ahead to the recap of the episode. So first, let me just talk about the 1,000 Pound Best Friends, TLC's other reality show in the 1,000 Pound Cinematic Universe. I've had a number of people ask me what's going on with that and why I just kind of like silently stopped covering it. You may have seen a couple weeks ago I posted on my community tab that I was going to be delayed in even posting a 1,000 Pound Sisters recap because I was having a bad mental health day. And around that same time, it was just like a couple weeks in general where I was struggling with feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed, feeling anxious. And I was taking a look at what was on my plate and what I wanted to do and what I didn't really actually want to do or feel like continuing to stress myself out over was covering the 1,000 Pound Best Friends. And it was a kind of difficult decision to make for myself because I really do like the women that are on that show. I really enjoyed the first season of the show, and for the most part, I enjoyed aspects of season 2 of the show, but I think a lot of you that watched along knew that I was not as into it as I previously was, and so it was starting to really feel like a chore to just cover that show every week. And a lot of my comments were filled with people saying like, I don't even watch this show, I'm just watching it because I enjoy your recaps and you talking. And it was a very small handful of you that I feel like were watching along because you were also watching the show. And I apologize specifically to those people because I know y'all really looked forward to those things. And I also apologize that I just kind of like stopped doing it without saying anything about it. I didn't really know if I should make a whole video dedicated to that or why I wasn't doing it anymore, if I should make a community post. And that turned into me just saying nothing at all. And so I do feel like I left some of you hanging. And this is my message to those people. So I'm sorry. I know a lot of you really liked it, cared about it. One part of me was also waiting to say something because I thought in my head, maybe I'll just do an overall recap once the whole season is over and let people know what happened. But I just could not bring myself to do it. So I hope that makes sense. That's understandable that y'all are okay with that and you appreciate that reasoning behind it. It's just, I was so stressed out trying to do so many things outside of just YouTube also, for the record. And I was just like, I just really do not have the heart or motivation to do this show anymore. So that's it. That's all. I just wanted to get that out of the way and answer that question because I know a lot of you have been asking. I also wanted to cover a few other things that are happening with Amy and Tammy specifically that some people have tagged me in, sent me, etc. A number of people have sent me like official court filings that show that Michael and Amy are filing for divorce, that they are separating. I do want to say, in case you missed it, a couple weeks ago, I did actually cover their separation in a video and confirm that I had reached out to Amy and she confirmed to me that it was happening, that the separation was real. So if you want to go back and check out that video, feel free to go see what I had to say there. Really not much more than what I just said here, but I did confirm that with Amy a couple weeks ago. I also want to talk about how often I get tagged in things on TikTok these days. There's so much 1,000 Pound Sisters content over there. I did upload one clip from a 1,000 Pound Sister video over to TikTok I'm so not good at TikTok. Feel free to follow me over there at thezacharymike if you would like. But I get tagged in stuff all the time related to Amy and Tammy over there. And one of the things I just got tagged in, I think today, if not today, maybe last night, and I just saw it today for the first time. But somebody tagged me in a TikTok about Tammy deleting all photos of Caleb from her Instagram.
Came across a TikTok of someone saying that Tammy took all of her photos of her and Caleb off of her Instagram, and it wouldn't let me do edit, so I had to go screenshot them. But look, do we think they are breaking up? Do we think she just wants privacy? Tammy, we need the tea.
And it's true, if you go to her Instagram, there doesn't seem to be much of any of Caleb there. I don't know if there was prior to that post being made or not. But what I will say is if you go to Tammy's TikTok, she still has TikToks of Caleb up there, as you can see in the screenshot on the screen right meow. So I don't know what that necessarily means for Tammy and Caleb's relationship, if there's something going on, if something's not working out, whoever, whatever. But I felt like it might be relevant to share with you all as we get ready to talk about their actual wedding in today's episode. So let's just move on to today's episode, which, by the way, I think this episode was maybe the season finale. I'm a little bit confused, but there was no preview for the next episode at the end of the episode like there normally is. But I'm confused because Tammy did say on TikTok that they'd only filmed the first 8 episodes and that they were going to be filming again for the next 8 episodes or something like that of the season. So I don't know if Tammy just didn't know what she was talking about or things changed. But I think this was the season finale. So anyways, this episode starts off with the family in the car on the way to the wedding, which is where the last episode had left off. They're rehashing conversations about how much Tammy and her body are changing, and they're worried that with like all of this changing, that maybe this isn't the best time for her to get married and make a big life decision like that, because like she doesn't even know who she is right now, let alone who she's gonna be in 2 years. And interestingly, Chris said that he asked a lot of really tough questions that made it so that Caleb couldn't sugarcoat things, which I don't really know actually if I agree with. Like, I don't think Chris was that tough on Caleb at all. But even if he was, the responses that Caleb gave were like very surface level. Like, it's not like Chris was doing a deep dive investigation into this man's past. And in general, everybody seems just like hesitant about the wedding but ready to push forward if they have to. However, Chris and Misty do joke about objecting at the wedding.
I just thought about standing up and saying, "I object!"
I'm gonna stand up and holler, I'm carrying his baby.
And she'll probably be looking for Amanda to be the one to eject it.
And the siblings point out that Tammy should probably be most worried about Amanda because she's the toughest on everybody. She's the toughest. She likes to put it like, oh, I'm just the truth teller. I'm just here to tell the truth. I'm not afraid to tell somebody what they need to hear. Which may be true, honestly. I think that's like really what we've seen of her on this show is like she's willing to tell people the truth even if it hurts their feelings. And Amanda does point out that she thinks that Chris may have been too easy, so she's planning on getting a little one-on-one time with Caleb to pick this guy's brain and see what he's about. So the next scene starts off with just Tammy rolling on into the little dining hall room.
Coming in hot, bitches.
Today's the day I'm getting married.
And we find out that she is indeed worried about how Tammy and Misty might react to Caleb, because if you recall, Amanda and Misty didn't come up as early as like Chris, Brittany, and Amy did. And so Amanda and Misty haven't met him yet. But when they get there, Amanda's first and foremost goal is just to give Tammy a good old hug.
Your titties are in my throat.
Oh, my titty just messed up your whole tray.
A good old boobula hug, a good old titty hug. And Tammy lets the siblings know that they can't have the wedding outside. It's too cold, but they can sure as fuck do it in the dining hall, but they just gotta wait for bingo to finish first. And finally, after the cliffhanger of last week's episode about whether or not Tammy may or may not be pregnant, They ask Tammy the most important question of the episode.
All four of us is dying to really want to know.
Are you pregnant? Shotgun wedding.
And of course she's not.
The heck? I ain't pregnant. This is crazy. I can't believe my family thinks I'm getting married because I'm pregnant. That's stupid.
And like she already said in last week's episode, the reason that they're doing it so quickly is that they want to be able to do it while Tammy is still there in rehab so that all of her friends from the rehab facility can be present and a part of it and all the staff and things like that. But Chris and Amy are thankful that Tammy is indeed not pregnant.
Thank God. Next step is to get on birth control.
Save a whole lot of ass eggs. No, I'm talking about a whole lot of headache.
I
A whole lot of head on ass egg.
I thought you said a whole lot of ass.
And I'm not sure exactly where ass sex comes into all of this, but I guess that is a surefire way to make sure Miss Tammy doesn't get pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've partaken in that and I've yet to get pregnant, so it's working for me. And if the past 2 episodes of people referencing Caleb and Tammy rubbing their trachs together to have some kind of sexual interaction or intercourse weren't enough for you, Amanda, make sure to bring it up again in this week's episode.
So when you and Caleb be hugging and kissing on each other, y'all be rubbing trachs together?
Oh, hell no.
That's foreplay.
Like this. Oh, yeah.
And Amanda lets Tammy know that she wants to have a one-on-one conversation with Caleb, so that's gonna happen, but Tammy's just like, please do not run this man off. I need this man in my life. Please do not scare him. And we're gonna find out whether or not she does or doesn't do that a little bit later in the episode. So it's 3 hours until the wedding's about to start. They're still playing bingo in the dining hall. So the girlies are all getting their hair and makeup done. And Tammy's talking about how she's looking forward to seeing what Caleb's reaction will be when she comes down the aisle. And her stylist mentions that he better be crying whenever he sees her coming down the aisle. And Tammy, Miss Girl, has some other things on her mind.
If he don't try to jump my bones, it'll hit my...
Bitch, we're having a good day. Why do you have to ruin my lunch like that?
But on top of that, Tammy also asks Amy and Brittany for some advice because, you know, they're both married. So she wants their advice on what a successful relationship looks like. And the queen of communication herself, Amy Slaton, offers Tammy some advice on, you guessed it, communication.
Just talk calmly and irrationally. Communication is important in a relationship because if you don't communicate, if you don't talk, it builds up and it's toxic.
But yeah, regardless of how Amy or Tammy communicizes, Amy's communication is so bad, but regardless of how she communicizes, it is an important part of relationships in general. And certainly Tammy has a lot to learn there, as she is also not great at communication. So Chris takes Amanda and Misty to go and talk to Caleb. He introduces them all and then he gets the fuck out. And Amanda claims she just wants to get to know him.
I just feel like, you know, we really want to get to know you. And I'm gonna FAFO. I'm gonna around find out.
But y'all, Amanda and Misty come out of this shit so aggressive. They're like, we cut the head off the snake. You better not mess with Tammy or her family. Like, super welcoming, like, very chill. They also ask like 12 questions all at once. And it's like one of my pet peeves when like somebody asks a question and doesn't give somebody time to answer said question before they just start talking again. And they were doing that with like the 20 questions they were playing. They were like, what are you hoping to gain from this? What are your goals in life? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you want for Tammy? Blah, 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 blah. It was just like, girls, will you give him a chance to like answer any of those questions? But they also ask if he's willing to get a prenup.
Are you willing to sign a prenup?
Yeah.
Now, I know there's lots of different reasons why people get prenups, but the one that comes to mind, I think, the most often for most people is like, I don't know, something related to like money and assets and things like that. And I'm just curious what exactly the need for a prenup in this situation would be. Like, what is that about? I mean, I guess unless it's like you promise not to tell any secrets about Tammy Slaton's life or something like that should you get divorced. I don't know. Like, anything related to Tammy's assets, like what does she have for him to take outside of like the clout he will get regardless for being married to Tammy Slaton? You know what I'm saying? It's not like she's sitting here on a gold mine of wealth. It's not like she even has a home currently. I think if y'all recall, the last time we saw her home, it had just been robbed, okay? She doesn't have anything. And weirdly and awkwardly, Caleb offers to give them some nieces and nephews. And Amanda aptly points out that, like, y'all are not in the place to be having kids right now. Like, y'all need to focus on your recovery because once you recover, surely you'll gain some mobility and things like that. But right now, when you're both immobile, it's not really fair to bring, like, a kid into that environment when you won't be able to probably be the best parent that you could be in that situation. And of course, Amanda just can't stop talking about the trachs and the rubbing and the trachs and the rubbing, so she brings it up again.
I did say something to her when I first seen her. I just flat out asked her, do y'all be up here rubbing trachs together or something? Like, what y'all be up here doing?
And I feel like Caleb's response was appropriate.
What we do is what we do. A man never rubs trachs and tails.
Like, really, Caleb, thank you for that, bestie. I appreciate it. I don't need to know any more than what I already know, to be honest with you. And at the end of it all, it seems like Amanda still has some concerns about Caleb, but doesn't feel like he really knows what it's like to be a husband, let alone a good husband. But she thinks that he's a decent enough guy, and she's gonna let them move on with their marriage. So it's 1 hour until the wedding is started, and they show a little clip of the people at the rehab facility still playing bingo.
B11.
B11.
M35.
Bingo.
And I'm very confused about why they couldn't just do this at another time, unless, of course, it was, like, all a part of the TLC-produced drama of it all. Like, most of those people are probably going to be going to the wedding anyways. Like, can that not be their daily activity, fun event for the day is going to Tammy and Caleb's wedding? But they start decorating anyways once the bingo crowd clears out, and the theme is fall decorations. Very tasteful. It even includes the red truck. If you're from my Twitch stream, you know exactly what I mean by that. So let me know in the comments if you're team red truck. And then we flash to old Caleb getting ready to get dressed and get ready for the wedding. And he's getting dressed specifically in the clothes that Amy got for him. And they end up not fitting, just a spoiler alert. And I have a lot of feelings and thoughts about this. Like, I think one of the things that seems probably concerning to people is that he waited until the day of his wedding to try them on.
I gotta be perfect for her.
It's pants, okay? We're not gonna freak out about pants. You know why? You're marrying the love of your life today, okay?
I should have done this before.
But I have to say, one, honestly, that's relatable content because, like, besties, I can't tell you how many times I've waited to figure out what I'm wearing until the day of the event. Although I guess it wasn't my wedding that I waited for. But then, two, also keep in mind that Amy only brought all of these clothes the day before the wedding, which doesn't mean that he couldn't have tried those on also the day before the wedding. But even Miss Tammy only tried on her wedding dress the day before the wedding. They also show one of the nursing assistants talking about Caleb and Tammy meeting and how before they met, Caleb was just really sad and he, like, came close to dying a couple times. But after they met, you know, he was motivated to get up out of bed every day and really wanted to make things work because he had to go be with his girl and things like that. Basically talking a lot about how, like, they fed off of each other and each other's energy to keep, like, the motivation going. And it made me think about how some of y'all in my comments were questioning how they were dating in a rehab facility, because people in the comments, their understanding of, like, rehab facilities is that you aren't allowed to date. I think I have heard that for, like, rehab facilities for people who are, you know, experiencing, like, some type of substance abuse or things like that. So I guess maybe that's where people are coming from, and I don't know if it's different for folks in this type of a rehab facility, like if those rules apply or not. So I really have no idea, but I do understand where the concern comes from, and it kind of is highlighted by this nursing assistant. Like, they are focusing their motivation to continue improving on the dependency of another person instead of just finding that motivation intrinsically. And it feels like it could be a little unhealthy for them to be forming those kinds of, like, dependencies on each other. And on top of that, like everybody else in her family and the comments of my videos have pointed out, it's just like a huge life-changing transition type of a situation where you're not necessarily trying to have distractions of other people and things like that while you're still trying to figure yourself out. So I don't know. It does all still feel a little weird to me as well, if I'm being honest. Like, Caleb's gonna have to be around for a while for me to, like, fully trust this guy's intentions, and that's just me being honest. But anyways, Caleb is really worried about letting Tammy down. He feels like he has failed her and that she's gonna think he's failed.
I need to calm down. I'm freaking out right now.
No, it's okay. Hey, Caleb, it is pants.
I'm stressing out.
Stop. Okay?
I cannot mess this up for
No.
And listening to him, like, freak out on this show is interesting because I don't know if y'all felt this vibe, like I felt this vibe, but it felt like his vibe was the same exact vibe that he has any other time on this show. Like, the tone in his voice sounded the same as the tone in his voice when he was talking to Amanda and Misty, or when he was talking to Chris, or when he's just, like, casually talking to Tammy in a confessional. Like, it all sounds the same. So Caleb ends up actually honestly just getting a pair of pants and a polo shirt from some guy named Carl that's in the rehab facility. And honestly, truly, Caleb couldn't stand alone on this show. Like, he is so boring to me without the help of Tammy. So then we get a little moment where Tammy is getting in her dress, and Amy talks a little bit about how she's so stressed out about the details of Tammy's wedding and her concern over everything going correctly. But I guess we're not going to talk about the detail of the stain on her dress.
The time of the wedding approaching, and I'm just trying to get final details going.
Which, to be fair to her, I think that stain probably happened, like, after the wedding already happened, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a feeling that particular confessional shot was filmed at the end of the night, because I don't think I noticed it anywhere else except in that confessional. So just keep that in mind. But I did think it was funny. She was talking about, like, her concern over all of the specific little details of the show. And then it's like, girl, you got a stain on the front of your bridesmaid's dress. And so they show Tammy in her little wedding Crocs, which I thought were just, like, very cute as a Croc wearer myself. I enjoyed that. And we find out that one of the reasons that Amy is freaking out is because she messed up Tammy's tiara.
I missed your hair.
Stop.
I know, I'm sorry.
Chill. Hold on. Breathe. Nothing's wrong.
I'm trying to make your wedding perfect.
It's fine. I'm not mad. Nothing happened. You know I love you and I appreciate you for this. Gotta stand up.
Permanent, but ain't you?
Gotta stand up.
And I will say, I find it wild that in this moment, Tammy is the voice of reason. Like, it's so clear that she's made leaps and bounds in terms of her response to other people and how she has taken it upon herself to, like, be kinder in her responses and her reactions. But I'm impressed with Tammy's wedding outfit. I really like it.
I'll admit it. I love my wedding dress. And I'm excited. I'm getting married.
And then they also have this conversation about, like, the little bit of nervousness that Tammy's feeling. They're trying to figure out what might be in her stomach causing that nervousness.
Girl, you have butterflies yet?
I'm starting to, but I think they're not butterflies. I think they're more like
Lobsters?
lobster.
I don't know.
No, not lobster.
Pterodactyls?
No, not quite big just yet.
Octopus?
An owl.
And I don't know, bestie, knowing this family, it's probably just gas, honestly. Like, let's be fucking serious. So the wedding is getting started, everyone's walking down the aisle, and everybody's just like sort of looking at each other like, is this shit really happening? Like, are we about to really experience this together collectively? But everybody makes it down the aisle, Caleb's there waiting, and there is a TLC manufactured pause where Tammy has not come out yet, and Caleb's starting to worry that she might not be coming.
I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if there's cold feet. I don't know if there's second thoughts. She better not be a rollaway bride.
But surprise! Chris rolls her into the dining hall along with a nice musical arrangement, vocal situation type of deal by Amy.
Here comes the bride, all dressed in white.
Oh, and by the way, do you remember the home health nurse that took care of Tammy while she was in Lexington, Kentucky getting surgery? And he like stayed in her hotel with her and it was like a family friend. By the way, apparently he officiates weddings. And he does offer time for people to object because, you know, at the beginning of the episode, they included the little jokes about objecting, but nobody does object. They do, in fact, get married, but instead of I do, the most Tammy can offer is, I guess.
Will you take Caleb to be your lawfully wedded husband? Will you love him and cherish him, honor him, and no other for the rest of your life?
I guess. I do.
And then we also get to see Caleb and Tammy exchange their first kiss as husband and wife.
I can't with you.
But you don't want to, you done said.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready.
So then we move on to the reception, and it starts off with a very romantic cake moment type of deal.
You look so handsome.
You better stop it, I'm gonna eat that cake off.
You pervert.
I'm gonna eat that cake off of your cake.
It's still mine.
I don't even care no more, you my wife.
And then the highlight of maybe the whole episode for me is Amy doing the best maid of honor speech I think I've heard at a wedding in a minute. Like, she doesn't even really know what his last name is.
We always been, you know, Amy and Tammy, the Slayton sisters. And now it's like Amy Hockton and what was your last name? I'm sorry. Willingham. Oh, we were the Slayton sisters. And now I'm a Hockton. And she's a Willingham. Willington or Willingham?
Willingham sounds familiar.
And she's Mrs. Caleb.
She also takes time to make the speech about herself.
And now look at what become. All these beautiful people in this place are here for us.
And years down the road, when Tammy and Caleb think of their wedding, Amy wants them to think about her.
I really hope that years and years down the road, Caleb and her can look at each other and be like, Amy threw us the best wedding.
Which honestly, I'm obsessed with. Like, steal that light, Amy. Make this shit about yourself. Absolutely. Why the fuck not? And no worries, y'all. She's been holding in a little something special for Caleb and Tammy the whole wedding.
And I've been holding in this for y'all.
Let it loose.
I already did.
We family now, you let it loose.
Y'all gonna smell it in 5 minutes back there.
Let loose, I said let loose. You're holding it together, baby. What's the use?
And honestly, I think we can all agree that the only way to celebrate anything in the Slayton family as with a little shitting, pissing, and farting. Another great part of the wedding reception was when Amanda was dancing all up on this daddy in front of his wife, girlfriend, partner, whatever.
I'm just a little nervous, anxious to go in and start putting myself out there again. Hold on, I got something for you.
See, that's just wrong.
I'm getting you primed and ready for her. I'm trying to turn you on for her.
And also at the end of the episode, they included this clip of Amy just laying on the floor next to a plate of food.
Now that Tammy's reached her goals and she's got a husband and stuff, and my boys are born.
Truly have no idea what's going on there, but go off. Like, go the fuck off, girl. And she also talks about Dr. Proctor's goals for her to lose weight, but she mentioned she kind of already took care of that.
Dr. Proctor gave me a 20-pound goal. I plan on losing 30 to 40 pounds. I farted that a while ago.
And Tammy and Caleb have big plans to move into the same room at the rehab facility together, and they're worried about maybe one of the most important things that they need to be worried about living together.
Kind of nervous.
Oh, you worried about my gas?
Never said that. You should be worried about mine.
TLC really said, we're going to give you all the fart content in this last episode of the season. Every single bit of it. I also died because they tied diet soda cans to the back of Caleb and Tammy's wheelchairs. Like, what a way to send off the happy newly married couple with some old diet soda cans. I loved it. I was obsessed. And yeah, I think that was it. I really do think that's the season finale because there was no preview for a new episode, and that's kind of like what a quick Google search told me. So I think we have a lot of questions to see what's going on, with Michael and Amy. I think that's gonna make season 5 fascinating as well. A lot of people have been saying in my comments that we need to give Michael a break because we're forgetting how nice and great he was to Tammy in the past. But one, I have to say, we don't really know what's happening behind closed doors with Michael and Amy, so keep that in mind. But two, just because Michael did a good thing in the past doesn't mean that, everything he does in the future is great. I think it's okay to criticize him as a parent when he is just sitting there and Amy's trying to take care of her 2 crying children. So I just want to keep that in perspective for y'all, that just because he did one thing nice in the past doesn't mean that he gets to hold on to that as a trophy forever, and that gives him immunity from criticism for when he's not great in the future. Okay, so let's just keep that in perspective. And honestly, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Tammy and Caleb too, because I still have a lot of red flags about Caleb. I don't necessarily trust him. I feel like we barely got to know him on the show. I mean, he really only showed up in the last 2-3 episodes, so we don't even really know a lot about him. I haven't seen a lot about him on social media, and the way that he described how he even came to meet Tammy to begin with is a little sussy to me. So I'll be keeping my eye out on the social media and everything like that moving forward. Feel free to send me any tea that you ever get regarding the SLATO'N'S or anybody else I cover on YouTube, to be honest with you, because I always like to look into it and see what's going on. But as for me, that is as much time as I have available today, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, and it's your first time on my channel, make sure to subscribe down below for more content. Hit the bell so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all my social media. I had so much fun today. I hope you did too, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!